What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel where we talk about money and mindset as well as my family's own journey to pay off six-figure debt. So if you like videos like that, then make sure to subscribe to my channel with that red button down there. Today we are talking all about federal student loans. Might sound like a four-letter word to some of you who have these loans, but you know what? They are gonna come due at some point, it appears. I know it seems like they've been put off for months and years, and some people are still holding out hope for forgiveness, and I don't know if that'll happen before the May 1st deadline of when student loans, federal student loans, are starting to be due again. So I figured today I would talk about some things you can do if you have federal student loans to prepare for that restart of payments, because it's been a while, guys. It's been almost 2.5 years since anyone with federal loans has had to make payments. And so I thought maybe a refresher on what to even do right now, because you might be thinking to yourself like, oh crap, what loans do I even have? Has my servicer changed? Like, where do I even look for my balance? What's my payment again? I don't even remember what my payment was before. So today we're gonna go through all that stuff, how to figure that stuff out, and how to prepare for the restart of federal student loan payments. So the first thing you may wanna do if you have federal student loans is go onto the studentaid.gov website and just double check that all of your info is correct on there, as well as double check your servicer, because some servicers have changed and some people may have moved in the last couple years. And studentaid.gov is like the hub for all federal student loan information. So you can look at your student loan, see who your servicer is, and update your contact information to make sure it is up to date and current. So if your servicer is trying to contact you, as much as you may not want to hear from them, they at least have the right contact information so you can have the information you need from them about what's going on with your loans. The next thing you may want to do is if you are on an income-driven repayment plan, meaning your payment amount is dependent on how much money you make that year, you'll know if you are because it'll say it on studentaid.gov as well as your student loan servicer's website. But if you are and you've had to recertify every year to prove what your income is, that may be out of date. A lot of people have lost jobs or changed jobs in the past couple years, and so if your income is lower than it used to be when you were making your student loan payments back before March of 2020, then you may be eligible for a lower payment amount when student loan payments restart. So if you are making less money than you were when student loan payments were due back in March of 2020, then you should go ahead and see what you need to do to recertify and lower that payment amount if that's something that you are interested in trying to do. All right, so now you've gone on to studentaid.gov, you remember what student loans you even have, you figured out who your servicer is, you figured out what your balance is and what your expected payment is going to be. Now you look at your budget and you think, where am I gonna find an extra $500 or $800 or $1,200 every month to make this payment? And actually, let me back up one step. First of all, hopefully you have a budget, and if you don't, get on that like immediately, like today, like right now. As soon as this video is over, like sit down and figure out some sort of budget to work with. I actually have a budget template that I sell on my Etsy shop, and I share budget with me videos every single month. So I will link that in the video description if you want to check out my budget template, and I'll link my video playlist of all my budget with me videos where I show you guys my exact family's household budget and how to use the template. The template is an instant download to Google Sheets, and it comes with a detailed video tutorial on how to set it up in case you're not super comfortable working in spreadsheets. It's very approachable for anyone who knows how to use a computer but maybe hasn't worked with spreadsheets a lot. Okay, so back to my original point, if you have a budget but you aren't budgeting for that student loan payment in your budget right now, even though it's not due for a few months, I would recommend putting it in your budget now. Start getting used to what it's like to be out that money every single month, because it's been a long time since you've had to make that payment. So getting readjusted to finding that money in your budget every single month here on forward until your debt is paid off or forgiven is going to be an adjustment. So definitely, if you haven't been setting that money aside every month, start putting that amount in your budget. Put in a line item in your budget for $500 or whatever your student loan payment is expected to be, and every single month put that money aside into a savings account or put it into your emergency fund, or just get used to the feeling of not having that money every single month, because you don't want it to be a shock all of a sudden when student loan payments are due again and you're like, I have no idea how I'm gonna find that money in my budget because I haven't been planning for it for the last 2.5 years. Worst case scenario, over the next few months, you find out that you don't have enough money to make that payment and you either recertify because your income has gone down, or you rework your budget and figure out something else that has to get cut in order to make room for the student loan payment. So it gives you a couple months to work with your budget and do some like trial and error to figure out how you're gonna come up with that payment every single month so you stay on time with your payments once payments restart. And then the final thing I would say you want to do to plan for the restart of federal student loan payments is create a debt payoff plan. So you may know exactly what your plan is for your student loans. You may be really clear on what repayment plan you're on and how long it's gonna take you to pay down your debt or what forgiveness you're going for. And if you are, good for you, that's amazing, because it is a very complicated system. And so if you have a specific plan that you're working towards, that is a huge accomplishment in itself. However, if you are not clear on what your plan is for your student loans and it's making you feel anxious and you have large student loans, then it probably is a good idea to create a debt payoff plan, do some digging, do some research, and figure out what is your plan for these student loans. Because at one point, I had student loans and I thought maybe I would take them to the grave with me, and that wasn't something I wanted, but I just didn't see how I was gonna pay them off. And then eventually, after many years of interest accruing on my loans, I figured out a debt payoff plan and I'm finally paying them down. I figured out how me and my husband are gonna pay off our student loan debt, and we've been working on that on our debt-free journey the past couple years. And let me tell you, the relief I have of not having the stress of that unknown is so valuable. Even though we're still in debt, I feel way less stressed about our debt because we have a plan. Now, if you don't know how to create a plan because it's complicated and it's a lot of money that you owe, especially if you owe more than your annual salary in student loans, it can feel very overwhelming of like, how the heck am I ever gonna get this stuff paid off? And I don't even know where to start. So one thing you can do if you're in that position is you can look for professional help. There's a lot of companies out there that will consult with you and help you create a debt payoff plan, one of which is Student Loan Planner. I've talked to you guys about them before. I'm a huge fan of the work that they do. They focus generally on student loan borrowers with large student loans, large meaning 6 figures or more. However, even if you have less than 6 figures of student loan debt, it definitely may be worth considering them for a consult because they are experts in everything student loans. So all the federal programs, all the forgiveness programs, all the latest trends of what's happening with changes in the law and Congress and what's going on, and they can help you create a custom debt payoff plan that helps you figure out exactly what is going on with your student loans. They actually have a really great free resource on their website and their podcast and their Instagram. All of it's like tons of free good information. So if you want to just check them out, I'll put all their information in the video description. But yeah, on their website, they have a really great free tool that you can use where you can plug in your information about your student loans and your income, and it will show you what your financial projections will be for all the different options that may be available to you, whether you go private and refinance and pay them off, or if you just stick on different repayment plans and go for forgiveness, like how much will you pay in your lifetime going through different plans. And that will give you like a rough estimate of things, but really if you want to get into the specifics of your situation, booking a consult with them I think is a really good idea. They do flat fee consults, so you know what the cost is going to be up front. It just depends on the balance of your loans. It's really a few $100s. So if you're paying more than a few $100s in interest in 1 month, then it's really pretty low risk, I feel like, to set up a consult to figure out exactly what you're doing with your student loans, because sometimes these are like the size of a mortgage for some people. Like for us right now, we have $270,000 of student loans and our mortgage is $300,000. Like basically we have the same amount in student loans as our mortgage. So if you're in a position like that, I would say definitely check them out, Student Loan Planner or another student loan consulting group that can give you a specific plan, because these are like big financial decisions that we should have professionals involved consulting us unless you're super clear on what your plan is. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by Student Loan Planner. I just want to make that really clear. Although I do have an affiliate link. If you guys book a consult with them, I get a commission for sending you their way. So I'll have the link below if you are interested in booking a consult with Student Loan Planner. I get some questions now and again as to whether public service student loan forgiveness is real, because there's some financial voices out there that are saying it's a scam and it's not real and it doesn't work. I'm not going to name names, but if you've heard that from someone before, then you may know who I'm talking about. But anyway, it's not a scam at all. It's just a complicated program that most people are not applying for correctly, don't have the correct records and paperwork and everything for it. If you're thinking of going for a forgiveness program, especially public service loan forgiveness, which is only a 10-year period where you have to work in that job before your loans are forgiven, then like really take the time to look into it and make sure you're getting the paperwork done right. Again, Student Loan Planner or another group can help advise you on this, but yeah, don't give up on public service student loan forgiveness because you think it's a scam because it hasn't worked for certain people. Like, don't just forget it altogether as an option. At least maybe get more information and listen to various sources about it, not just one or two voices who may be saying that it doesn't work. Okay, so I try not to get political on these videos because that's not the intention. My intention here is to give correct information, help educate, help guide you to resources that might help you if you have federal student loans. I don't know if federal student loan forgiveness is going to happen. It may or may not, but at this point, I think it's safe to say that you shouldn't bank on that happening before student loans become due again. And so in order to prepare properly, you want to take these steps, make sure you know what your payment is, make sure you know who to send the check to, and make sure you have cash flow in your budget and a long-term plan as to how you're gonna get your student loans paid off. As I said in this video, my husband and I have $270,000 of student loans. We actually refinanced our federal loans to private loans, and so we could lower our interest rate. This was several years ago before the student loan interest and payments were paused, and so we are out of the federal student loan system and we have plans to pay off our balances. That's just what ended up working for our family. That's not necessarily what's right for everyone, but I say this all to say if you are overwhelmed by your student loans, I know how it feels. I'm right there with you. I have a ridiculous mortgage-sized student loan from law school and from my husband going to get his master's in business, and it's just part of what our generation is going through. And I feel like a lot of people hate on us for not being able to afford homes and complaining about student loan debt, but it is a crisis. And so if you feel very overwhelmed by it, then just know that you are not alone. There are other people who are trying to do what you're trying to do, and we all need to stick together and encourage each other so we can get our student loan debt paid off. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It really helps on my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit that red subscribe button. I'd really love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.